What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some hot, steamy news for you guys. Something that I promised you guys, something I didn't really think that would come about this easily. But according to The Mirror, it is a magazine source. Deontay Wilder is reported that he brought home $10 million to fight Dominique Breazeale. Now, people say, hey, $10 million. Deontay Wilder's doing good. Deontay Wilder's raising his profile. Deontay Wilder is now getting the money that he deserves. Bullshit. How is he getting the money that he deserves when he was offered $20 million? Like, look, that is double the amount that he took home just from fighting on fucking Showtime. It wasn't on pay-per-view, so you can't make up some bullshit amount of numbers and say that, oh, he got money on the back end, or Al gave him more money on the side. Bullshit. They gave him what this motherfucker made, and that's what he made. Okay? And that's what it is. So you turn down $20 million to fight on DAZN. But then yet, like I be telling people, I keep telling you guys, you can't make me believe that. Look, Wilder fans, please explain this shit to me. How is a man that has to fight as mandatory, how is he winning when he's taking half the money that he was offered to fight a particular fighter? And this is not even talking about the Joshua fight. That's $100 million. We ain't even talking about that. We're talking about this 20 right now. You know, this is a fight-by-fight basis. You know, I mean, we don't know what could have happened in the Breazeale fight until it happened, right? He knocked him out in one round. Now, you could argue that, hey, he did it in fucking 2 minutes and 17 seconds and made $10 million. You know, who else is going to pay him that amount of money? No, dickhead. If he would have fought to 12 rounds, got knocked out in 5 rounds, or whatever happened in that fight, he was only getting $10 million. So I don't want to hear that twist. So that only leads me to believe either two options, two of them, mind you. One, Deontay Wilder could not take that deal because he had other ties that bind from Al Haymon and Showtime. That he couldn't. He was not allowed to. He was not permitted to. That's one. Or two, he's plain dumb as fuck. And he doesn't know his head from his ass, and doesn't know that the people that work for him are out to fuck him and don't have his best interest at heart. Okay? That's only two reasons. He's either a slave, like I think he is, or he's dumb. Or he might be a combination of both, because ego is a motherfucker. Ego is that thing that will cause you to fuck up your career thinking that you're winning and you're not. Thinking, I'm going to hold out for more money. If they're offering me this, I'm going to hold out for that. That comes from ego. Comes from that egotistical bullshit element in your body that makes you think a certain type of way. Jealousy, greed. That motherfucker, that British guy, that British champion, Anthony Joshua, he's making $35 million. Fuck that. I want more than that because I feel I'm worth more. Based on what? Based on your own fucking emotional thought and your own ego. That's how ego can fuck you right there. You know? And that's what happened with Deontay Wilder. Maybe. You know what I mean? And if it's not definitely, it's probably partially because he's still talking shit like I'm the baddest man on the planet. I'm the most popular boxer. But then yet I'm getting half the amount of money that was offered from a whole nother platform. Make that shit make sense, people. I was waiting for this shit because I knew there was no fucking way in hell Showtime was going to back the money that DAZN backed. And fuck the loyalty, dude. What the hell is he talking about? Oh, how are you going to hold out when Jim Gray asked him, when is the fights we want to see happen? How are you going to hold out on making the best money possible when you're taking half the money that was offered? It makes no fucking sense. None. Look, this type of shit goes on when you got a fighter that is not as bright as he, and I only see proclaimed to be, because I can see right through that bullshit, okay? I can see that Deontay Wilder is not smart enough to really take his career in his own hands. He's not a Bernard Hopkins. He's not a fucking Floyd Money Mayweather. He's not an Oscar De La Hoya. He's none of these people. He is a person that is being ran and managed and owned by another fucking entity, right? Al Heyman knows what he's doing. You ain't going over there, fucking, I'll take half the money to stay with y'all. That's fucking, that ain't loyalty, dude. That's slavery. That's what that is. You know, that's that indentured servant bullshit that he's got in his mentality, and he's trying to preach that upon someone else, but it's actually happening in his own house, in his own territory, you know, on his own network. These guys are getting pimped. I'm telling you, these guys are getting pimped. So yeah, $10 million. That sounds good if you weren't offered 20. That would have been very good for Deontay. But here's the deal. You guys, you Wilder fans, and I don't have nothing personally against Wilder. You know, I just think he does dumb shit. He says contradicting shit. And I know that he's ducking that fucking fight. And I sensed it a long time ago. But just because you sense things, it has to be proven. That means if he couldn't take that 20 million, there's no way in hell he could take that 100, right? Because the $100 million would tie him in to a fight with Anthony Joshua, a fight that he could fucking lose. Let's be real. He could lose those fights, both of them. You know, you're fighting a guy with a decent jab, Anthony Joshua. Yeah, that could happen. And they know it could happen. Al Heyman knows it could happen. That's why he's like, hell no fucking way. We're going to work out something, but you ain't taking that deal. Ask Anthony Joshua and them, ask Eddie Hearn and them, or ask John Skipper rather, how much is Joshua getting? See, that means they're not being fair with you if they want to tell you what it is. You know, slick shit Al Heyman put into place and had dumbass, yeah, that's right, I don't know how much you're getting. Instead of knowing what's right there in front of him, how much are you offered? What are they offering you? Oh, it's $100 million. That's generational wealth money. You can't blow through that shit in 5 years. That ain't the type of money that you can just spend. That's $1 million a year for 100 years. You know, if that ain't generational wealth, people, I don't know what is, honestly. So that's the problem in this whole scenario with Deontay Wilder claiming, hey, I'm betting on myself. Brother, if you betting on yourself, you're fucking losing. You know what I mean? You're losing. And that gamble, you gambled wrong. You know, who said that? Hasim Rahman said it best. He's either the smartest man in the world or he's the dumbest man in the world, because it is a gamble. And looks like to me, this motherfucker's the dumbest, because if you're going to take $10 million to fight your mandatory, you know, and you were offered $20 million to fight your mandatory, fair enough. You knocked him out in 2 minutes and 17 seconds. If you did that shit on DAZN, you'd have made $20 million in 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Because the platform didn't change. The physicalities of the fight didn't change. None of that changed. The only thing that changed is you got paid more money and you were fighting on DAZN. Bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So look, I'll leave the link below. Let you guys check this fuckery out. Tell me what you think, guys. Please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.